By Shalom, Kahala, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the Great Millstone, who do rule and teach well. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Barakatham, to you sincere Akim, noising this gospel abroad, keeping the faith and testimony of our Lord Yahushai, to the few sincere Aquath that listen and learn as well, in silence as the scriptures command. To you I say Shalom. So it's your brother Azariah back with want to tap into this right here from Dabu. And basically what's about to happen, brothers have been sounding the alarm through the spirit that as well as many others, the likes of Gerald Salente, Jeffrey Sachs, Jamie Dimon, just to name a few people, have been warning over the years that a great financial collapse is going to occur in America, Babylon the Great. And part of that collapse is going to be that people are going to lose everything that they work for in this world, in this system. And, there have been journalists that have called this the Great Taking. And there was also a book written by, I forget the dude's name, but I got it pulled up on ChatGPT, you know what I'm saying? So we'll get into it later on in this lesson. But there was a book, by that title of The Great Taking. And what these elites are about to do is they're about to take all the collective wealth of the American citizen, you see. And this is all a part of that Great Reset agenda, to where, Klaus Schwab told you years ago, and we always reference, that you will own nothing and you will be happy. Okay? So that's the scenario that is about to occur in this place, man. The lights are going to go out, the banks are going to fail, and that's why right now you see all these businesses, they pulling out the game. They going bankrupt, they closing down stores like there's no tomorrow. Why you think this is happening? They laying off people in mass right now. You know what I'm saying? Because you saw the same thing happen back in 07, 08 during the Great Recession. There was a lot of layoffs, a lot of bankruptcies going on because the corporations, they get the drop first on what's going to go down with the economy. So they know what's coming, so they try to hedge themselves against it by cutting costs, you know what I'm saying? But the last people to find out what's about to go down are the common citizen, you know what I'm saying? So this thing is about to hit people like they couldn't even imagine. And, that's why they got National Guard set up in the States, because once the banks go down, people can't get their money. And they showed you this also in that Netflix series, Zero Day. If you haven't watched that, I recommend to go watch that, because, that's a visual on, how this thing is going to go down, how they going to play it. So, yeah, man, this thing is about to happen very soon. The gold and silver markets, going crazy, has been for quite some time, but it's all going to come to a fulfillment very soon. So with that being said, we're going to check out this video from Dabu, grab an article, and also I got, something pulled up on ChatGPT we can tap into as well. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying.
Hey guys, what's up? Dabu7. It's been a minute, checking back in, and want to talk about these warnings being put out about a financial crash. And it's pretty serious, because this all goes right back into what I call the Great Taking. This is where there's going to be a plan, no doubt there's one in motion, to take everyone's 401ks, to steal most of your money. It'd be kind of crazy
to see. I remember saying in a lesson, some weeks ago, like, yo, if you got a 401k and you got money in there, you better use it. I'm saying, F that. Because look, we not going to retire here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially, like if you in your 20s, such as myself, the younger generation, we damn sure not going to retire here, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? So just go ahead, use that 401k, whatever you got in your savings, retirement, whatever. Go ahead and use that while it's still of some benefit to you. All right, because when they collapse this economy, which is going to happen very soon, all that money that you worked for and saved up, it's going to be good for nothing. Okay, so if you're wise, hey, go ahead and do what you got to do now, while that useless fiat money is still good for something, while this economy is still intact. All right, that would be the wise thing to do, because these elites are going to take it all anyway. And I was trying to look for a video I had tapped into on a lesson I did some months ago. I tried to find it. I don't know if Esau took it off the page or what, but that video is going missing. But it was basically Edomite that used to work on Wall Street, and he crashed on camera. He pretty much crashed out on camera, and he started going off talking about how the elites, they're gonna take it all, they're gonna take everything. These scumbags, these bastards. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was letting it be known. And this was a guy that was formerly in that Wall Street arena. Okay, so he's privy to inside information that a lot of people are not. All right, and I remember doing this a few months ago, man. But a lot of people have been coming out and saying that this great taking is underway. So again, man, you got some money, 401k, retirement savings, use it. All right, let's continue.
Think that the criminals out there and cartels would not have some kind of plan to be able to take large chunks of people's money. And it's not too far-fetched when you look back and you look at the Great Depression. We know that J.P. Morgan Chase and the goons got together on Jekyll Island. They plotted a bank run, putting out false information, and they put the whole thing in motion. It was orchestrated. And they stole the farm from most families out there, which should be where you're at right now. But you don't have that because they stole it a long time ago. So now they're back for more. Their offspring here looking to take everyone's 401ks and retirement money in one big event. And how this works is they have manipulated the Uniform Commercial Code. What they've done under like Section 8 is they've made it to where these banking cartels can go in, and with your money, what they're giving you when you buy a stock is they're giving you like an IOU. It says that you have some kind of commercial rights to that stock, but you don't actually own the stock or get the stock. This is what's huge. Most people do not understand this, and it's all about your broker, your dealer, what they're doing with your money that's invested. Because if they pledge your money at any point, in any way, to somewhere to get financial assets, all of your assets can be wiped out in this. So
you heard that? All of your assets are going to be wiped out. And see, this is what happens when you dance with the devil. All right, when you put your trust in the devil. See? Because, for you Israelites, you got to understand that this place, America, Babylon the Great, this was never a permanent situation for us. This was always something that was a punishment. All right, because living in America, Babylon the Great, for the Israelites has been nothing but hell since day one. All right, we were sent here for punishment. We were sent here to learn a lesson. All right, we wasn't put here to make this our happily ever after, and we just live good, and Jake got the setup. You got the so-called American dream, the white picket fence, you know what I'm saying? You got the big house, you got the dog in the yard, and you driving Benzes and Lexuses. Like, that's not why we're here. Okay, we're here to serve captivity, punishment. All right, but what's about to happen is we about to get exodus, if that's the right word, out of this place, man. All right, we about to flee Babylon the Great. The Lord about to come get us. So you about to have to leave all this stuff behind anyway. So all of what you've accumulated and worked for in Babylon the Great, and you done went to school, you done got in all this debt, you done got into a career, and all this stuff. At the end of the day, it's all vanity because it's not gonna profit you towards your salvation, you know. And speaking of that, let's get a scripture real quick. Matthew chapter 6. Okay. Let's see what the scriptures say about storing up treasures on this earth, right? Matthew chapter 6 and verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. And the ultimate thief is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, he's the one that's about to steal. Okay, the elites, right, they're about to steal and pretty much strong arm everything that you have worked for in this crooked ass wicked society. Okay, Esau, he is the thief. All right, and the scriptures refer to him as so. You know what I'm saying? That's one of his aliases, is the thief. Verse 20. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through and steal. Break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So if your treasure is in this world, if your heart is set upon this world, then guess what? You're going to perish with it. And ultimately, when this devil bring about the MOTB, you're going to take it because you're in love with the dainties, with the benefits that this life has to offer, which really you really shouldn't be, because this kingdom is really bullshit. All right, there's nothing here to which you should be willing to sell your soul to hold on to. Ain't none of this worth it, man. You know what I'm saying? This place, America, Babylon the Great, is going to be like Sodom and Gomorrah when the Lord is done with it. So for you to have a mindset to love your possessions here so much to the point where you're willing to die, to risk getting burnt and thermonuclear fire for it, all right, you a damn fool at the end of the day. All right, and furthermore, let's see what King Solomon said in the book of Ecclesiastes. Yeah, let's get this. Ecclesiastes 1, the futility of wisdom. All right, check it out. This is King Solomon right here. Ecclesiastes 1 in verse 12. I, the preacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem, and I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath Yahweh given to the sons of man to be exercised therewith. Verse 14. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. All right, so King Solomon, okay, the wisest man, okay, had all the riches, had all the women, you know what I'm saying? At the end of it all, his conclusion was that all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Why? You see, because it don't matter how hard you work in this world, how much you work to build yourself up. One day, your ass gonna die, all right? And what you work for is gonna be left to somebody else. You see? And it's not a guarantee that, what you work for is going to continue in good standing. Because the next person that comes on and takes over what you built, they can squander it all in one generation, in a few years. All right. So, so at the end of it all, King Solomon, he came to the conclusion like, damn, all this I done did, all the works under the sun, it's all vanity. You see, that's what these people are about to find out in America, man, that all that they work for, all that they, put their blood, sweat, and tears into, it was all vanity. Let's read that in the NLT. Ecclesiastes 1 and 12. I, the teacher, was king of Israel, and I lived in Jerusalem. I devoted myself to search for understanding and to explore by wisdom everything being done under heaven. I soon discovered that Yahweh has dealt a tragic existence to the human race. I observed everything going on under the sun, and really, it is all meaningless, like chasing the wind. You see? So it's like chasing the wind, man. Like you can chase after the wind all you want, but you ain't never gonna catch it. It's a futile endeavor. It's not bringing you anywhere. You see, but that's why, as he read in Matthew 6, to what? Lay up and store your treasures in heaven, where moth nor rust doth corrupt. Because see, the works that you do for Yahweh Bashim Shai, that's gonna translate over into the kingdom. Okay, the righteous works and faith that you have and that you've been exercising in this life, that's what's going to matter. All right, but all of this, a fiat money, and you know what I'm saying, you want to buy gold and silver, you know what I'm saying, you want to store up years worth of food, that's not going to benefit you. You know what I'm saying? Because that all that in this life can be taken from you, or the Lord can take your ass out and leave it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you gotta have a mind to be grounded in Yahweh Bashmel Shai, man, because the things of this world, it's meaningless. All right. It this was only meant to be a temporary situation. You know what I'm saying? The Lord give us jobs and allow us to have, do what we gotta do to make ends meet for the time being. Just like it was in ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt wasn't permanent either, even though we was there for a long time, but it wasn't a permanent situation. Whatever we was doing in ancient Egypt, that, you know what I'm saying, that was a means to an end, but it came time for us to get up out of there. It's the same thing now, to where we about to get up out of Babylon the Great, man. This place gonna be destroyed. All right. So you can be like Lot's wife and look back, you know, and your ass is gonna meet a grievous demise. See? So these elites, they gonna take it all. And this has been the plan from day one, to reduce you back to nothing and take all of your morale, take all of your hope, and ultimately leave you high and dry.
Fine print, as there always is in this situation. And what this says is just that in a financial crash, even though they're not supposed to do this, they are allowing the companies, the banks, to be able to off your possessions to cover their losses. This is crazy. What this will do is it sets the trap for them to crash the market, and everyone's going to be left holding the bag. They're going to take all the money. Money don't just disappear. Stocks don't just crash for nothing. That happens when the rich and powerful take profit. And you'd be crazy to think that they don't have a plan, which we already know of. I'm telling you right now, and it's been exposed. This next big crash is a taking. It's going to be a crash and a loss for a bunch of people, but somewhere, some people have applauded this. It's going to be a massive uprise for them, financial uprise. It's a taking. It's like stealing. It's an operation that they have in motion. It's the next one. It could set this country back into a depression. So the way things are going right now, I just wanted to let it be known, when you start to see signs out there creeping out and they're talking about this, like something's about to happen, and plus you see gold and silver doing what they've been doing, yeah, I would catch any pullbacks on gold and silver, man, copper, any metals, I'd stack them. I'd keep stacking and keep stacking. Join me for the live stream, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m.
You see, even what Dabu's talking about, get gold, silver, copper, which those things do have real intrinsic value because they are, precious metals and commodities. But at the end of the day, that's not going to save you either, okay? Because when this society, fully collapses, and because there's going to come a point to where gold and silver, even that's not going to do you no good, because who the hell can eat gold and silver? Who, you know what I'm saying? Who the hell is going to eat copper? You can't use that to, you know what I'm saying, forward your situation. You see? So he's talking about gold and silver, but really, keep it, just being real. You having alcohol, you having some extra, toiletries, or, you having gas, gasoline, those things are going to be more valuable. You know what I'm saying? You got olive oil, you got meat. Those things are going to be more valuable than gold and silver in that day, because that's actually going to be something that is going to forward life. Okay, gold and silver is not going to forward your life, man. You know what I'm saying? That that might be good for a little while to barter and trade and stuff, but even that's not gonna last long. Okay, because once these banks go down and people can't get no money, the next best thing is people are gonna hoard food. People are gonna be searching and putting people to death for food. All right, so when you go to this article right here, right, check this out. Wall Street could seize, and no, it's not could. They will. This is the plan. Wall Street could seize your retirement savings in the next financial crash. And notice how they're saying the next one. So they already telling you that a financial crash is about to happen. It's only a matter of time. And it's perfectly legal. Okay, and again, this is what happened when you dance with the devil. Okay? Because he set up this system, created this false illusion of whiteness, okay, which Edomites bought into, thinking that they was better than Jake because they got the crumbs off the master table. All right, but even these low-level Edomites, what I'm saying, they all about to lose, man. Okay, because they hold the lion's share of the wealth in this society, you know, and that's old money passed down from slavery. You know what I'm saying? Exploitation of Jake. You know what I'm saying? The land seizure, eminent domain, you name it. Okay, the Trail of Tears. You know what I'm saying? That's how they got their wealth, through ill-gotten gain. You see? So it's only right. This is judgment upon them, man. See, the same way that you came in, that you Edomites came in, and you stole, you raped, you robbed, and you murdered. Okay, the Lord about to take your wealth away from you, because the same way you got it, the same way you're gonna lose the shit, man. And that's righteous judgment. All right, so call Lord Yahweh Bashman with shot. And see, Jake ain't really gonna lose like that. You may have a few Jakes here and there that got a couple of M's in the bank, doing fairly well. But the majority of our people are poor. Okay, majority of our people ain't got nothing any damn way. You know what I'm saying? So when the system collapses, it ain't really gonna matter. All right, but yeah, we're gonna get a little synopsis out of this. Yeah, it says right here, recessions and stock market crashes are inevitable in a market-based economy, but few Americans realize that their investments face risk far greater than falling stock prices. Because of largely unknown legal changes, millions of Americans could temporarily, even permanently, lose their retirement and other investment savings in the next major financial crash. All while too big to fail, Wall Street firms and banks are protected. And why are the Wall Street firms and banks protected? Because those are the how can I say it? Those things are pretty much directly protected by the Rothschilds, because that's where they have their assets at. You know what I'm saying? So before the markets crash, they're gonna pull their assets out. Okay? But everybody else that really ain't aware of what's going on, because they're not gonna tell the average citizen that, look, we're about to crash the markets. You see, same thing they did back in 1929. Same thing they did back in '07, '08. All right, the average person didn't know. All right, but you saw the signs. Layoffs. You saw that inflation went up. You saw that your cost of living, went up drastically. Okay, these are the same things we seeing now. Okay, and all these things are already in law. All right, this crash, this about to happen now. This was in the big beautiful bill. Okay, all of this stuff, man, that these devils, all this mischief that they about to bring about, all this has been set up beforehand. All right, all this has been prescribed, man. Just wickedness. I want to get a particular point out of this. Bear with me one moment. In January, I released a new book, The Next Big Crash: Conspiracy, Collapse, and the Men Behind History's Biggest Heists, to explain how this legal framework was constructed, why it poses grave risk to consumers today, and to uncover the remarkable conspiracy behind DTC's creation. The book is the culmination of years of research, and the evidence it presents is nothing short of stunning, right? Lawmakers were told, da da da. I think this is it. Okay, let me start from under Article 8 of the Uniform Commercial Code. If a brokerage firm collapses during a financial crisis, secured creditors, including banks, may seize securities used as collateral in lending arrangements with broker dealers. This can include customer securities such as stocks and bonds if they were pledged as collateral for those loans. As a result, during the next major crash, investors could lose their entire portfolios if their broker dealer pledged customer assets to obtain financing. Right. Moreover, as I document in the book, existing emergency powers laws could be invoked during a crisis to alter or suspend rules meant to protect customers. You see that? And there was a law that they repealed, I think, last year. I think it was a Consumer Protection Act or something like that, to where they pretty much did away with that. So that set the grounds for the financial collapse right there. All right, and brothers were telling you, I remember we're going into it around that time. Okay, to listen, these devils about to give you the big fu. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's about to be crazy out here when this thing goes down. Right? Laws could be invoked during a crisis to alter or suspend rules meant to protect customers. Lawmakers could also enact new legislation that weakens current consumer safety. So see, you can't make this up. All right? Which these laws, again, are already in place. We're just coming into the time where they're about to enact these laws. You see, but see, all the laws that they got set up, it's not meant to benefit you Edomites or you Jakes. All right? All of the goyim, okay, as they would say, the useless eaters, all right, they about to put your ass back in your place, man, because see, a lot of you, all right, to the elites are now starting to buck up, all right, you starting to question shit, and that ain't kosher with them, you know what I'm saying? So that's why they about to chop you people back down to size, and ultimately, beyond Esau, Esau, he's just the left hand of the Most High, you know what I'm saying? The Most High uses devil to do these things. But this is all from Yahweh Bashmi Shai, man, because this is also what the great humbling that's going to take place on the earth, to where people's pride is about to be brought down low, man. All right. And the scriptures say that all those that are proud and lofty shall be brought low in the day of destruction. Okay. And we're rapidly coming upon that time now. All right. To where the pride of these people, which is at an all-time high, you know what I'm saying? The Lord about to quiet all that. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that article right there. Now, I got this pulled up. Okay. Damn. That's crazy, man. I forget what I even typed. I forget what I. Matter of fact, what did I type? Can you summarize the book, The Great Taking, and the key points? Okay, David Webb, that's his name, right? He wrote the book called The Great Taking, all right, and just to get some we can just read this, the summary. The Great Taking argues that over the past several decades, the global financial system has been quietly restructured in a way that removes true ownership of stocks, bonds, and other securities from individual investors. According to Webb, most investors no longer legally own their assets outright. Instead, they are secured. Instead, they are unsecured creditors within a centralized system controlled by large financial institutions. He contends that in a severe financial crisis, this structure could allow banks and clearing institutions to legally seize or take client assets to cover systematic losses. Hence, quote, the great taking. The book combines legal analysis, financial history, and systemic risk theory, framing the issue as a deliberate restructuring rather than an accident of modern finance. Okay, and this collapse, this reset that's coming, this has been in the works for decades. All right, we just at the point to where they're aggressively moving forward with the agenda. All right, they're moving into this digital technocracy. All money will be digital. In Revelation 13 and 16, that you will not be able to buy or sell unless you get that implantable device. Okay, unless you get that Neuralink, unless you get that RFID microchip, you will be outside of the B system and you will not be able to buy or sell. Okay, that's where all of this is coming down to. All right, but this is to add to let's get this right. Let's get Second Ezra's. What is that? Chapter 8. Second Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. This is a part of these great miseries, right? For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world. Why? Because they have walked in great pride. All right. So, like I mentioned earlier, man, that the pride of these people is about to be humble, man. It's about to be brought down low. Okay. These people about to lose it all. And the crazy thing is, they ain't even about to see it coming. This is gonna blindside these people, okay, and ultimately it's gonna destroy them because especially when you hear Jake, all Jake talk about is the bag, the bag, the bag. Yeah, I gotta get to the bag, yo. You know what I'm saying? But the bag is about to be digital. How the hell you gonna get to a digital bag? Only way that's gonna be possible is if your ass get the chip. All right, and that's what majority of these people are gonna do. Because why? They don't have faith. You know what I'm saying? They have not built up their faith in Yahweh Bashmil Shah to be able to resist, you know what I'm saying, this. Let's get it. Revelation 3. To resist this our temptation. Revelation 3 and 10 in the NLT. Because you have obeyed my command to persevere. All right, which persevere means to, be long suffering. Okay, to endure hardships. I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the whole world to test those who belong to this world. Okay, so if you belong to this world by default, you're going to align yourselves with the things of this world. Okay, which part of that would be this fiat money. All right, and guess what? All that is about to be confounded. You know what I'm saying? So if you belong to this world, the Lord is going to test you. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you claim to belong to Yahweh Bashmil Shah, the Lord is going to test that as well. You see? The scriptures also say that a friend cannot be known in prosperity and an enemy cannot be hid in adversity. Okay, so if you're a true friend of Yahweh Bashmil Shai, then the Lord got to put that to the test to see where you really stand, because it's all good to say that you're all about the Lord and you believe when things are good and comfortable, but see, the Lord is really going to see what you made of once that hard time of testing comes upon the earth. You know what I'm saying? That's where everybody's going to be exposed for what they really are. Okay, so this our temptation is necessary, and part of the our temptation is being presented with the chip. You know what I'm saying? Part of that is possibly having to go hungry, being thrown in prison, even being put to death. Okay, all these things encompass the our temptation, which also co-aligns with Jacob's trouble, Daniel 12 and 1. A time of great distress, a time has never been seen before on the planet Earth, and likewise shall not be seen again. All right, so there's great taking, there's great reset that's coming. You know what I'm saying? This thing has been prophesied, and the Lord is getting ready to perform this thing through his wicked left hand, which is Esau. All right, so with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close out. Oh, Salaki, let me not forget to bring this out as well. All right, let's get Ezekiel 7. Oh, I almost forgot that. Call Yahweh Bashmil Shai. Ezekiel 7. And verse 12. Ezekiel 7 and 12 in the NLT. Yes, the time has come. The day is here. Buyers should not rejoice over bargains, nor sellers grieve over losses. for all of them will fall under my terrible anger. You see that? Verse 13, even if the merchants survive, they will never return to their business. For what Yahweh has said applies to everyone. It will not be changed. Not one person whose life is twisted by sin will ever recover. Okay? So then when you get verse 18, they will dress themselves in burlap. Horror and shame will cover them. They will shave their heads in sorrow and remorse. And as we just read in 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter, right? That many great miseries, okay? Verse 19, they will throw their money in the streets, tossing it out like worthless trash. That's what it's going to be. This fiat money that, these paper dollars that people got, or the ones and zeros in your bank account, that's not real money, okay? That's really monopoly money, you know what I'm saying, to be honest. And that's why when this system crash, it ain't gonna do them no good. So they gonna throw it out the window. They gonna use it to wipe they behind and all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Use it to light fires. That's all it's gonna be good for. Tossing it out like worthless trash. Their silver and gold won't save them. See? So not even silver and gold. You know what I'm saying? Like you heard Dabu talk about get silver, gold, and copper. That ain't gonna save you, bro. Okay, that might do you some good for a little while, for a temporary moment, but even that, because like I said, you can't eat that. All right, and when this world is delved into chaos, people gonna be in survival mode. You see, people not gonna be worried about no gold and silver. They can be worried about trying to eat. Okay, their silver and their gold won't save them on that day of the Lord's anger. It will neither satisfy nor feed them. See. You can't eat it, man. It's not going to satisfy you. For their greed can only trip them up, right? So, that's the point right there. And I'm going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying through the Rakah Kadash, called Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect. Kum Yashala, Wa Ba Ba. On to the next one.